This is a solid dressing table in a very good condition. Just look at those feet and the details. I want to add one more detail to the drawer, and I used an epoxy resin and IOD molding to do it. While the mold is still soft, I am applying some glue, spreading it evenly, and gluing the mold to the middle of the drawer, letting it completely dry before painting it. For my base coat, I am using a grey chalk paint and the sawdust as a medium. Here is the consistency I want. You can add more or less sawdust, depending on how much texture you want to add. By stippling the paint in, I am creating an uneven surface. It will help me to build up the layers of paint and to expose them at the end. I want a solid coverage, and painting the details, I brush them first, getting the paint into the crevices. And then I go over the details again, stippling the paint in and creating the texture on the tips of the details. Here, the base coat is dry. You can see the texture I have created. For my next step, I am using a Paloma, country grey and a dark egg blue chalk paint, and I will apply them simultaneously. I will also need a sponge and a mister bottle. I am applying the three colors randomly. And after spraying the surface with water, I am blending the paint together with a sponge. The sponge is wet, but I squeezed it really well, so no water in it. And I will be moving the sponge around until all the colors blend in, but each color is still visible. Here, when the paint is completely dry. My next step is an old white chalk paint, diluted with water. The old white paint is quite strong, and here I am using more water than the paint. The idea is to keep the other colors peeking through. As you can see, I am applying the wash quite lightly and then spreading it with the wet sponge. Also using more water to dilute the paint even more. To highlight the high points, I am brushing them with the same old white wash, using a brush with the largest surface, as I don't want the white paint to get into the crevices. Depending on how much white paint you want to have, you spray more or less water, diluting the paint. And washing the sponge often also helps. Next is a Coco chalk paint wash. Here I used 2 parts of paint to 1 part of water. And this time, applying it, I am trying to get the paint inside all the crevices. With a wet rag, I am taking the most of the paint wash off the high points and taking the excesses of the rest of the surface by dabbing the wet rag into the wet paint. Here, again, I am using my spray bottle with water to move the paint wash, leaving most of it in the corners and crevices. After the piece is completely dry, I have sanded it all, quite heavily, exposing all the layers I have applied, and in some parts also the wood. Next important step is applying the clear wax to seal the paint. Then a brown wax. Rubbing it well into the low points and wiping off the excesses with a dry, lint-free rag. Then I am picking some of the clear wax and wiping a brown wax off the tips of the details. And repeating the process on the whole piece. To get the details popping out even more, I am applying the brown wax into the grooves using a small artist brush. Then, smearing the wax with a softer artist brush and wiping off the excesses. And to finish, a touch of an antique gilding wax. Here it is finished. Just to remind you how the table was before and how it looks now. Thank you for stopping by. I hope to see you again with my new projects.